Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Last week... Oh, excuse me. Last week, the George Gobel Show was seen over many of these stations. And tonight we're... Oh, I'm George Gobel. I thought I might mention that, and it's kind of interesting how I got to be George Gobel. You see, I come from a large family. And this one night, my father called all 16 of us children into the living room, and he said, all right, which one of you kids wants to be George Gobel? Well, I wasn't particularly hopped up about the idea, but I really wanted to be Douglas Fairbanks Jr. But that one was already taken. My sister had... Anyway, this is our second show, and I'm not going to take a lot of time to tell you about what the critics said about our first show, although we did have some very nice comments in the Manchester Guardian and also the Stella Dallas Fan Club News, which is a very fine publication, home delivered, you know. But I would like to take just a minute or two to read a letter that I received from my mother. It says, Dear Bambi. That's what my mother calls me, Bambi. See, I was born during the hunting season. It says, Dear Bambi, I saw your first show. Why didn't you wear your blue suit? So there you are. And here I am, and here's the show.
The George Gobel Show. Starring George Gobel. With his guest, Hollywood's lovely Miss Angela Lansbury. Pretty Peggy King. John Scott Trotter and his orchestra. The star of our show, George Gobel's blue suit, with George Gobel inside.
Thank you. Okay, Mom? Like I say, this is only our second show, and when I got here tonight, the makeup man told me to take off all my clothes, and he started to make up my whole body. And I thought that was rather irregular. So I said, say, isn't this rather irregular? So he said, well, aren't you the gallstone operation on the new Medic show? And right then and there, I would have kicked him in the stomach, and I would have, too, but I didn't want to spoil my leg makeup. See, that's my trouble. People don't remember me. I don't make a good first impression. I mean, after you get to know me, then... see, when I go to a party, when I walk in, nobody says hello, but when I leave, everybody says goodbye. But that's because I'm just a very ordinary, run-of-the-mill human being, like the fella next door, But, of course, that's a little embarrassing for me because the fellow lives next door to me is a bum. Well, he's not a bum, exactly, but... anybody that sleeps till noon and then is back in bed at 12:15 ain't exactly no Harvey Firestone. However, my trouble is always...
Oh, George!
Yes, John?
Did you get this?
Oh, I sure did. I get so nervous before a show, you know, that I forget things like my guitar. And, you know, that one thing, I get nervous sometimes and my hands get wet, and that's one reason I don't play an electric guitar, really.
You know, it'd be very dangerous to play an electric guitar with wet hands.
Oh, you know it, too. Well, I had a friend back in Chicago. He was a folk singer, and they're the worst kind. And this fella played an electric guitar, and one night he was playing it with wet hands, and I'll never forget that night. Never will I forget that night.
Real big night. Huh?
Yeah, his sneakers went right up in smoke.
Really melted his gum soles, huh?
Yeah, it melted his gums, too. But that's not why I get nervous before a show. I just get nervous before a show. You get nervous before a show?
I used to.
Get nervous before a show?
George. But not since I've been reading Aristophanes. Aristophanes, an obscure Greek philosopher who taught me the secret of tranquility. You see, George, a man should live within himself. And that's what I do, son. Live within myself.
Yeah, well, there's room, John.
George, I like your sense of humor, boy.
Sure you do. You know, I'll bet you right now that fella's hand alone weighs 86 pounds. However, last week I got to talking so much I didn't get a chance to play my guitar, so this week I'm going to play my guitar. Now, ain't you glad you come? But before I play my guitar, we're going to have just a word from the sponsors. I say just a word now, but it's not just a word. You know, I say just a word, but it's not just a word. You know that. You know that. Everybody knows that. Prominently. We're going to have more than a word from our sponsors. We're going to have, well, this is what it is, if you really want to know. Well, I'm going to sing now, and I got all guitared up for the occasion, too. You know, so everybody just kind of relax now. Just lie back on your chase and lounge. And the song I've selected tonight is one that I used to sing all the time because it has such a very fine ending. That's one of the things that you learn in this business. If you're in show business, you know that you got to figure out a good getaway number. And, you know, finish up proper. See, like, for instance, if you can sing a song and finish up on a high, hard one, you know, real loud and maybe change colors. And if you can stand like this, that's going to help a lot, too. You know? And then if you can do that and also get the word Ireland in there, then you practically got the game beat right there. And if you can do those two and then get the word mother in there, then you are in like a porch climber. There's no way that you can miss. There's no way. Sometimes when I sing this ending on this song, people just go straight up and whistle and stomp and throw money, and sometimes they hit me, too. But it's a nice song. It's in the key of G in a 4/4 tempo, where the verse is 4/4, and the chorus is a slow but very definite 3/4 time, like this goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And the high note in the song is an A natural, which I sing in a full voice, and I finish up on a G natural, also in a full voice. You see, we keep nothing from you. And really, the thing that sells a song, however, is the ending. As a matter of fact, a lot of times I just sing the ending. And tonight, as long as I told you about the whole song, and you've heard it many times, it's kind of silly for me to go through the whole thing, but you have been so very nice so far that I would like you all to hear the ending of the song. So, John, if you can get somebody to play me an arpeggio, like maybe a D9 to get me in, and then I'll sing the ending. Without the flatted fifth. And the first note of the thing. She's that old Irish mother.
Gobel. Oh, he's so cute. He just kills me. Isn't he cute, Angela? What a boy.
Mm-hmm. I like his range.
Oh, gee, I'm crazy about his whole kitchen.
Peggy, have you seen my garter? Gee, I've got to have a garter. Look, could I borrow one of yours?
Oh, I don't wear garters.
Well, how do you keep your stockings from sagging?
Oh, I just pull them up all the way and tuck them under my shoulder straps.
Doesn't do for me at all. Yes?
Angela, I was just wondering if we hadn't...
Oh, gee, Georgie Gobel.
Hi.
Hi. Gee, I just saw you on television, and, oh, I think your voice is so...
See, that's what everybody says. My voice is just so.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think that your voice is, well...
Alluring
Oh, alluring.
and thrilling
And thrilling.
and sexy.
Oh, and sexy. Gee, Georgie, you just put the words right in my mouth.
Yeah. Well, see, a fellow like me just can't afford to take chances. Oh, Angela, there's nothing the matter, is there?
Oh, no, nothing, George.
Well, see, right after Peggy's song, we're going to have a commercial, and that's where you come on.
After the commercial, we do the scene where I play your wife.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'll see you later.
Okay.
Peggy, it's time for your song now. Oh, excuse me. Angela, I won't be needing this. I'm not going to play my guitar after all.
For a minute there, I thought I was going to have to use thumbtacks.
Where are we going, Georgie?
Right over into this other set. I wanted you to see it because, see, this set was made just for you. This is where you're going to sing your song. You like it?
Well, yes, it's very pretty. What is it?
Well, it's a mountain is what it is. I mean, anybody, well, it's not really a mountain either. Now, what it is, see, it's a molehill left over from one of the NBC spectaculars. See what they did, Pig? I think this is important. They sent a large package to all the NBC executives, and what it was a molehill into a mountain do-it-yourself kit.
Gee, I'd like to get one of those.
A do-it-yourself kit?
No, an NBC executive.
Well, see, you just can't hardly get them no more. Sit down here. I want to tell you all about this mountain. This is called Lookout Mountain. And I know all about this mountain because, see, my brother used to work right here on Lookout Mountain. My brother. You know what my brother did? Well, right here he would stand on top of Lookout Mountain, and whenever he would see another mountain coming, he would yell, "Look out!"
Oh, look here. How did this music get here?
I guess the prop man put it here.
Is it my song that I'm going to sing tonight?
Well, now, wait just a minute here. Are you going to sing a ballad entitled, "Let Me Call You Sweetheart, I Didn't Catch Your Name"? Well, are you... Now, don't get panicky, Peg. Are you going to sing a song called, "I Had a Feeling You're Foolin' Till I Noticed You Droolin'"?
Not tonight. No, tonight I'm going to sing an old Rodgers and Hart tune called Mountain Greenery.
Well, I'll be a dirty bird. No wonder you've got a mountain set here, Peggy. That just goes to show you the shrewd operators we have working around here. You just mentioned to them that you're going to sing a song called Mountain Greenery, and just like that, 1 week later, they got a mountain built for you. And incidentally, they built this one the hard way by erosion. All the way up here to tell you that was real gone.
Oh.
But can I ask you something? When you hit that high note, did your shoulder strap break?
Well, how did you know?
Well, your stockings are wrinkled. Come on, you can fix them at the theater.
How many? 2?
I make it 2. Are these in the balcony or main floor or loge?
What's the difference? We got seats everywhere.
Why is it that everybody I meet acts like they're a head waiter and I ain't got no reservation?
Oh, come on, we're just in time to get that milkshake.
My wife and I were sitting around the house talking. You know how you do when the television set's busted, you know? And I say talking, but I mean, I think maybe well, discussing. Well, we were having a big fight, is what we were doing. And this might give you the idea that we argue and fight all the time, but actually we've only had one argument since the day we were married. It started the day we were married, and we kept it going pretty good for just two people. Anyway, we have been together for a long time, and any two people who've been together that long have to have something in common, and we do, or did. Like, for instance, we both like, we have things in common. We, well, you know, opposites attract. You've heard people say that. And my wife and I have some things in common, like, well, we were both married in the same church. Simultaneously, as a matter of fact. And then there's our son, Howard. He's a boy. And, Howard's a cute little fellow with a good head on his shoulders, I'll say that. No neck, just a good solid head. And he's a busy little fellow. His mother spends an awful lot of time with him. He keeps her real busy. As a matter of fact, just the other night I came home and wanted to talk to my wife, Angela, and, well, she was tied up. Hi, honey. New dress? What's for dinner? Again? Say, honey, let me just get a look at you. Did you get a new hairdo? Honey, you know, you're unusually quiet tonight. You hope there's nothing wrong. There isn't, is there? Honey?
Honestly, George Gobel, I could scream. There ought to be a limit to what's expected of a woman. Wife, mother, cook, scrub woman, downstairs maid, bookkeeper, and who knows what else.
Well, we do have an opening for an assistant plumber.
And on top of everything, I have to play cowboys with an 11-year-old wild Indian, George.
Who's that?
Your son, that's who's that. He's a wild Indian.
Well, don't blame me, Angela. After all, your family is the one with the Apache blood. You mean to tell me that our little Chief Cochise tied you up like this?
No, dear. This is the way I always relax in the afternoon. I suppose you're surprised.
Well, I am, a little. I didn't know he could tie a half hitch. I wonder who could have taught him how to tie a half hitch. Couldn't have been me. I can't even untie a half hitch.
Oh, George, you've got to do something with your son.
My son. My son. When he's bad, he's my son. When he's good, he's your son.
He's never good.
He's my son. Angela, I'll tell you what, maybe we could send him away to school. I heard about a new progressive military academy called the John Dillinger Memorial. They tell me that the headmaster is a former guard on Devil's Island and speaks French.
Honestly, George, can't you be serious for 1 minute? I just can't cope with Howie anymore. He's too much for me, George.
Great big you?
Oh, honey. I just can't stand it any longer. Why weren't you here when this happened? Where have you been today? What have you been doing? Why don't you talk to him now and again? George, aren't you going to answer me?
Well, I hadn't really planned on it, Angela. Oh, mock turtle soup. Mock turtle soup. And you made it with a real live mock, too.
Would you just tell me where you've been?
Where I've been? You know, the way you talk, you think you were the only one that ever did any work around here. You know where I've been? I'll tell you where I have been. I have been out all day long with this. And you know where I have been with this? I have been from producer's office to producer's office to producer's office to producer's... to producer's office. And you know, not one of them producers had time to play golf.
Golf? Honestly, George, that's all you've got in your head. 18 holes. And you call yourself a father. George, my mother was a better father than you are.
Sure she was. She was a gym teacher.
George, honey, why don't you take an interest in your son? Go on in and talk to him. Have a man-to-man chat with the boy, huh? Go on.
All right, I will, but I don't think this is the proper club, really. I don't want to cut him, just bruise him a little bit is all that.
George, you don't need this. He's not that dangerous.
You mean go in there barehanded?
Sure, go on, George.
Of course, Angela, darling, you'll marry again.
Go on, George.
So I'll tell you what I did. I did go in and have a heart-to-heart talk with the little fella, and I want to tell you that that boy is not half bad. It's the other half that you got to look out for. However, he's kind of an interesting person. I thought you might like to meet him, so I brought him down tonight. Howie? Well, he's not here right now. I'll go find him. I didn't find him yet. Tell him about next week's show, will you?
George, aren't you going to say goodnight? Oh, here, let me help you.
Thank you very tenderly, Angela. And good night.
Good night, George.
Next week, friends, we'll be back, and our guest will be Jack Carson. And until then, this is your old friend, Lonesome George, leaving you with three of the most beautiful words in the English language: don't get married.
This is Hugh Conover saying goodnight for the George Gobel Show, a Gomelco production.